My name is Preston Maddox. I'm in Bloody Knives. I play bass and sing, and I play guitar and keyboards and other various random electronic instruments and record.
What keeps you doing this?
I don't know. I can't think of anything else to do really. I don't know what I would do if I didn't play. I mean, I've tried to quit music plenty of times, but or I guess actually like a couple times specifically. I thought like that I was kind of done with it, but I just don't know. I don't know, I guess I just feel compelled to do it more sometimes than like actually enjoying it. But it's been pretty fun lately.
My name is Jake McCowan. My full name is Joseph Harris Jake McCowan. I got 4 names because I'm special. I play drums in the band and do all of like the website and the promotion stuff and basically any imagery that we do. I've done a little of the keyboard samples and stuff, and I'll work on remixing some of the samples for remix stuff. I wanted to do art. I always wanted to be an artist in some way. It's just what I wanted to do. It was never like a question or anything.
My name's Jim Moon. I'm the new guy in Bloody Knives. Came in as a sound manipulator.
What kind of element do you bring to the band?
I try to bring a more electronic element to it. I used to be in a band called IOK. I've been in the Giant Voice System, the Nom 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 Collective. I do solo stuff at Vape. I've worked with MIDI Fister and Jandro, and
What kind of hardware are you using live?
right now I'm running Ableton 8. That runs out through an M-Audio sound card into a mini Chaos pad, and that runs out through a Monotron. And then I control the vocal effects using a Digitech processor. It's mostly just delayed.
What keeps you doing this?
I do this because it's what I do.
How do you usually go about writing the songs?
Usually, I mean, we do it differently as well. On this is a lot of times I'll come up with like my parts, and I'll give it to Jake, and he'll come up with the drum parts, and then we'll kind of like remix and resample. And
Just change the way we write things, I think, with this band. Anyway, instead of just doing it like with the EP, we just kind of wrote all the songs like an actual band. We sat in here and jammed out the riffs and arranged them together or whatever. And then we burn it all down. I think we did like a couple different ways. Like I would write beats, and then Preston would do stuff on top of it, or Preston would just come up with like a dummy beat or whatever and write stuff, and then I would put drums to that, and maybe program stuff later. And I guess now, and then with the EP we recorded in New York. We kind of like just jammed out stuff real quick and just wrote everything real fast and did it that way, and it's kind of a different texture. Now with Jim in the band, we'll kind of rework things again and do some process that changes up what we do instead of actually just like trying to make a lighter or heavier sounding record.
How did y'all go about recording Burn It All Down? Did y'all decide to do it at a home studio and then take it?
Oh yeah, I mean this is it. I mean this is the studio. There's the computer and there's the crappy Dell that the guy at the computer store said you can't run Pro Tools on that Dell, and it's been running for like 2 or 3 years. Thanks, buddy. And there's my 2 quadriverbs, and there's the monitors. Those 2 preamps are really kind of the key elements. The UA 610. That's where I run like all the guitars and keyboards and vocals and all that through. And then there's also another Avalon U5 that I use. I use that for bass signals. And then there's the Yamaha, and that's the keyboard. Like that's the keyboard that everything's been written on. Actually, that and the Emu Proteus is the only other module that I've ever used on the record just for keyboard modules. That's the same one that the Vangelis used on Chariots of Fire. This is a pretty hokey sounding unit, so kind of like taking those sounds and reworking them and trying to make them sound like a more expensive keyboard, or just kind of whatever sound I have in my head, or mimicking kind of machinery or whatever. Then the challenge is trying to make those keyboards sound the way that I want them to, instead of like dialing it in. It'd be cool to have a nice keyboard and kind of like dial in exactly what I want and then mess with it, but I think that I don't know. I worry that like part of like what I do would be lost in not in having proper gear. Like I think having all this crappy gear is like what makes it so difficult. What makes it more unique. We're always like trying to push ourselves to do something different and do something new and not just repeat the same thing. But obviously there's this framework of yourself that you're not going to be able to escape. So, we work within the boundaries that we can't break and try to do as much that we can do within them. As often as we can, we have jobs. We don't like get rich doing this like at all. So we're able to go out and tour, but that is what it is. But we tour as much as we can. It's awesome. There's nothing more fun than like waking up in a different city from day to day, instead of just being in the same place doing the same thing. A lot of good music. All the people you meet. There's a lot of good music scenes. I think there you meet a lot of like just cool and like intelligent people, and you get to kind of understand the way music is in their world, and like see the way that they're influenced by their environment, and then being influenced by the same bands or people of different ages, like kind of their viewpoint and how it changes throughout time. And I think that's what makes it the coolest. Those 2 things probably. We have our own label. It's called Kill Red Rocket Records, and it's a label, I guess. We mainly put out free stuff. We started it for ourselves to cover our own band in 2005, and then we started doing other people's bands in like 2008. But instead of like just having a limited amount of bands that we put out physical releases for, the general goal is to put out compilations that are free. Mainly just for promotion, and we just pick bands that we like, or that we've played with and were cool live, or just interesting, different music that's unique. We've done I guess 4 comps so far, and we've had some really good bands, really good bands from the United States and really all over the world too, and just been lucky to have the kind of talented people cool with us putting out their stuff for free too. And it's encouraging, like, to be able to give stuff to people.
They're trying to give, albums out for free, but then come out with a physical release that has something special, like, a poster to go with it, or we made an art book for Burn It All Down, so things like that, so somebody can have something, outside of just a CD.
Once we find somebody that's cool, and we know places to play, then yeah, we set up shows for them and with them. Yeah, we have label parties. We've had we've done some stuff over South by for a few years, and it's cool to see, the different people in the different cities more than anything else. I mean, they're all really kind of like the same. Like, pretty much everywhere we go, cool people. I mean, crappy people too. People, I guess, everywhere we go for the most part are very similar, and it's cool to see the way that like the same kind of person reacts to a different environment.
So what's going on in 2011?
2011's it's pretty busy already. I mean, we just barely started. We have got some shows coming up around the state. We've got a cool show in Houston coming up in February with this great band from Alabama called the Sunshine Factory, I believe is their name. And definitely looking forward to that show. And then we're going to be touring the Southeast, touring the Midwest. We've been talking to someone about going to Europe. We've been talking to someone about going to Japan. There's all these opportunities, and we just got to kind of figure out which one we can do. We have 2 records actually that we're working on. We have what will be like our second long play record, and the second record is very dark. It's just probably the darkest thing that we've ever done. It's very glitchy. It's very heavy. It's probably heavier than anything that we've done as well. And the third record is shaping up to be. I don't know. We have more opportunities to do things than we ever have, and we have so many opportunities now. We can't even take advantage of all of them. I'm just looking forward to seeing how everything shapes up. It seems like it's going to be pretty awesome.